Kristin. Thanks again for stopping by. Today I wanted to share with you the card that I made for Craft Roulette episode 268. The parameters were card for a student, modern colors, clothing, and abstract blobs. Well, you'll see in a bit where I'll use this for the hole punch side and the ribbon, which ribbon typically goes on clothing, and you will see here in a little bit exactly why. For the modern color scheme, I went with Gina K Designs Moonlit Fog. This has a greenish tone to the gray. I also liked it because I remember when you're watercoloring with it, it sure does take on some other colors. So take a look at that here in a bit. I used Distress ink in Evergreen Bough. I like in the watercolor how it turned it more of a minty color. And then depending on the amount of water I added, the Distress ink and Uncharted Mariner gave me some dark blues and gave me some light blues, again depending on how much water I added. My water brush that I used with the thick side there had a very nice blobby tool for me, so I liked that. Apron dye. Think you know where I'm going with this, don't you? And then, of course, for a pocket, this was an older set from Crafter's Companion. I really shopped my stash this week, so I thought this would be a really cute, fun addition. And this older set from 2020, I used the areas for the paint brushes, as well as the paint tubes, and an older but goodie kind of alpha die set so I could put someone's name on the card. Now here is some blobbies that I did. Basically took a piece of watercolor paper and drew on my blobbies in various different colors. For cleanup, I used some scratch paper. This one was Uncharted Mariner, so more full strength was this darker blue. This was the lighter blue with just more water into it. Here's the Moonlit Fog from Gina K. It had some green tone to it, but it has almost this beige pink as well. So I kind of liked how that blended together really well. Here was a cleanup of Moonlit Fog and then Uncharted Mariner on top. So that's a very moody piece, but you never know what that could be used for. Oh, and if you're pretty good, you might know what I spelled out from what I cut out. But this was some Evergreen Bough with just a bit of Uncharted Mariner on top on a scratch piece. And of course, each of the three colors that I blended. I used just some Moonlit Fog for the brush tips, for the bristles. And then we get our final product. Okay, you can see that's where I cut that out of with my blobbies. And that's right, Mr. B Motto gets a card. He is a student, granted on summer break, but he gets a card, plus a cute little apron with his name on it. I think he only wishes it was life-size so he could wear it. But I liked how the color of the ribbon tied in with the lighter Evergreen Bough. And have a crafty summer! So you can see the blobs, the apron is the clothing. But I also wanted to showcase just how sometimes I do the back of the card. I did make this a shaped card by cutting another piece out of, this was 80-pound paper, and I did a little score line and just glued it up there to be able to add for that, tied the ribbon through. This was a synthetic type ribbon versus a cotton, so I used my lighter to kind of singe the ends so that way there wouldn't be any fraying. This is a die that I got for being in the Fold It Club with Stamps of Life, so I do like to put that on the back of my cards when I'm gifting them. And then this is a fun stamp that I got from a friend. I believe she had it made on Etsy specifically for me, but I like how it's a little old-fashioned stamp. Reminds me from back in the bank and credit union days. So that's kind of fun. And then for the inside of the card, I don't always do these right away, but I thought for this one, since I knew I was gifting it to him really soon, that I watercolor washed the inside of the back because there were some test splotches that I did, so a little watercolor wash and inking around the outside kind of tied that together as if it might be the lining behind the craft apron. Inspired by Craft Roulette and made by, well, that little stamp is from the original Craft Roulette stamp set. So that was fun to use. And of course, to be motto, I am mommy. Whoa. So to get this kind of matte layer, because the die set did not have that, I simply took the big die, and this is just some copy paper really, traced that out, and then went around with my scissors. I tried my best to have an even margin all the way around, and then cut off what I needed for the top to provide that even margin. And so that was kind of my little tricky hack to get something that would layer in here fairly nice when the die set doesn't include that for you. So parameter check time. Card for a student. That would be for Mr. B Motto. Check. Modern colors. I went with the blues and the greens. That kind of moody blue with the light blue and green. Check. Clothing. An apron. Check. Abstract blobs. Plenty of blobbies in abstract form in the background on that apron. Check. Alrighty. B Motto loved this. When I gave it to him, he said, cool. Little boy, many words. What can I say? Thank you again for stopping by. If you have any questions about the card or any of the products that I use, do let me know. And do you have any funny kit stories? I'd sure love to hear them. Let me know in the comments below. You have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to y'all later.